Thanks everybody so much for joining. Hoping to keep this session fairly interactive. As you can see, we've got the chat open. This is a very interesting and very timely topic. We've had a few sessions with Jim and the team on this. I think this is one of the first chances to kind of have a bit more of an interactive session around it. There's a lot going on in change management Microsoft 365, some really exciting stuff. I'm personally really excited about the MCPs, which we'll be talking about. And we've got exactly the right people to be talking about it. So we've got Jim, Brian, and Micky from Microsoft who are on the change team, and Michael, who's representing the MVP enthusiasm for change here. Jim, I'll start with you. You just want to briefly give a quick intro to yourself and your role?
Yeah, sure. Jim Barber, been at Microsoft a little over 26 years, and I'm a senior director leading our change management communication constructs at Microsoft, reporting to one of our VPs in engineering.
Awesome, thanks. And Brian?
Yeah, I'm Brian McGough. I've been at Microsoft for this is 24 years, and I've actually been doing Message Center specifically for the last 8 years. So all those messages, those are for me. So, and I work under Jim.
Yeah, we did a podcast recently where we talked about some of your history with change, and it goes way back to some early days on the Message Center. Micky?
Hello, everyone. This is Gobinder / Micky. I am early in career compared to Brian and Jim. I'm only been here for 17 years. Not that bad. But yes, I'm the product manager for the change communications platform, responsible for making sure that all the communications that we do come to you via roadmap, Message Center, and so forth. They all run through the platform, and I'm the product manager for that.
Awesome, thanks. And Michael?
Hi there, I'm Michael Blumenthal, and today you can think of me as voice of the customer. My day job is managing M365 at a social science research institute called NORC.
Yeah, and you've been following change for quite a while as well, so
I have
a lot of experience. As I said, feel free to keep the chat going and questions, thoughts, feedback. First of all, a bit of scene setting. Michael, I think you're going to take us through this.
Yep. I've been focused on change for 8 years now or so, and I've seen the amount of change in M365 tenants that I've managed increase dramatically. The change velocity getting so much faster over the last several years that we've seen it go from 1,500 change announcements to 2,000 change announcements just in 1 year. And change happens everywhere in M365, and it happens at different frequencies. So in an M365 tenancy, you've got at least these following release cadences. You've got the standard versus targeted release for all the web properties, so that SharePoint and OneDrive Web and anything with a web interface, but primarily SharePoint has that standard versus targeted release cadence where you can control who gets to see the changes first for the particular set of cadences. So how do you find out about what's changing? Well, of course, the Message Center, and the team we have here today from Microsoft is the ones behind Message Center. That's your most authoritative place for what's changing in your tenant. But you'll find that those changes are often explained in more detail through Microsoft blog posts, sometimes referenced from a Message Center post. You'll see these changes discussed on LinkedIn and other social platforms. You'll also see changes announced in conference keynotes. For example, Microsoft Build is happening today, and in that keynote, you'll hear about lots of changes. Build and Ignite also published this thing called a book of news, and that will come out later today. And that's another way to learn about all the changes. And then there's also the Microsoft roadmap, which gives you that sort of larger timeline of changes and where certain features are in the process of being developed and delivered, and the corresponding admin documentation. So there's a lot of places to go to right now to understand what's changing and what it means for you. And then once you have all of that, you as a tenant admin are responsible for bringing that together and figuring out, what does my organization need to know about the changes? There's so many, you can't tell them about all of them. You can't even read all of them anymore. So the question is, which changes are most relevant to you and your organization? What do your colleagues need to know? and what should you tell them? And so now I want to hand this over to Jim, who leads the change management, change communications team at Microsoft, to tell us about the things they're working on to make coping with change easier. Over
Thanks,
to you,
Michael. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And thanks everybody for the hospitality, the chance to speak for a few minutes about a really exciting vision that we have. Thanks to all the listeners and folks who are attending this particular meeting. We are incredibly grateful for the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you. So I'm going to speak very, very briefly and turn it over to my two team members who I think you're going to be thrilled with what they have to speak about. But before I do that, I just want to maybe frame our conversation in 3 key points. And those 3 key points are going to focus on systems, communication principles, so systems, communication principles, and AI. And so, for the first time, like I said, in my 26 plus years at Microsoft, and certainly since we've made the fundamental shift to the cloud, Microsoft is knitting together 3 things. Its audience management system, its flighting system, and its communication infrastructure. And this is taking the efforts of hundreds of engineering teams, and this work forms the foundation of everything that you're going to hear about today. So point number 1, focus on systems. Point number 2, because of this system integration, we're able to radically improve our overall change communication model. And when all of our teams have onboarded to these new systems, major changes will be communicated with more clarity and accuracy. Customers will have more time to review major changes if they deem that necessary. And our engineering teams will be able to move safely and as quickly as possible to deliver new value to our customers. And as both Tom and Michael alluded to, we're delivering a volume of change that has never, ever been seen before, literally at Microsoft. Hundreds of thousands of changes are happening behind the scenes per month. And it's just a massive amount of value that we're adding to our customers, but also information that needs to be consumed. And then finally, point number 3, and in no surprise to anyone, we're wrapping everything we're doing in the incredible power of AI and an agentic experience. And so while it's true that the endpoints that folks are very familiar with, the ones that Michael alluded to, roadmap, the message center, release notes, the service health dashboard, those things are not going away. But the back-end changes that we're bringing forward will allow us to deliver tenant-specific information in new ways with greater flexibility, improved insights, and most importantly, for most of the listeners on this particular call, significantly less effort required of our tenant admins than ever before. And that's what you're going to hear about from both Micky and Brian today. We are thrilled to be here. I just want to say thanks again for the opportunity to spend some time with you all. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Micky to continue to talk through our communications systems and our platforms. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Jim. And then just to add to that, I think it was a few months ago that our president actually said something, and that has stuck with me forever. So he basically said, AI is eating change management from lunch. And in almost all the conversations that we have had with our customers in the last few months has proven him right. And a lot of this has to go with what Jim was just talking about, the velocity of features that's coming through. But then there's another key important aspect to it. The time it takes to get the feature from the concept to actually get it out to ship is now under 60 days. That's how fast the features are actually coming through. So the traditional change management models, they weren't just really built for the speed. And we acknowledge that. And we totally understand, and as a customer, the challenges that you face in terms of managing those changes as it's coming through with speed. But here's an interesting part that we always hear from our customers. There is a set of customers who want us to go fast. But then there's also a set of customers who want us to go slow. So that's an interesting tension that we hear all the time. But from what we understand from our vantage point, our customers want both. They want innovation and safety. And on the same hand, they want velocity and compliance. So that's the balance that we have always been trying to strike, and this is what we're trying to solve with this new model and the announcement that we're going to make in the next 20, 30 minutes. So let's talk through how we're going to get that done. So everything that we talk about today is going to be grounded through 3 pillars in terms of how we are trying to modernize change management on our side. And these 3 pillars are control, clarity, and confidence. And we're all doing this without slowing down the ship. So starting with control, control stands for structured release options. It helps you pick up the pace that you need to get these releases that fits your audience. Smarter communications, that is what stands for clarity stands for smarter communications. And what that really gives you is a structured way of getting this information. All these comms are now structured. They have relevance, and then they're ready to act, and not simply just a wall of text that we are sending over to you. And then finally, confidence. Confidence stands for the AI-driven insights, which are tailored to your tenant, so that you can clearly understand the comms or the changes that we're sending to you. You can analyze them, and you can act on them. So hold on to these three words: control, clarity, and confidence. And then everything that we talk through in this session will help you map back to those three pillars that we're grounding you on. So let's talk about, what exactly are we trying to solve here? So here are the challenges that we hear from you for the most part. So let's just ground on, where we are today. So you're all familiar with the M65 release options. Michael touched upon it for the most part. And I think someone talked about, okay, you know what, we're missing a couple in here. But let's just talk through those a bit. So today, when you look at the customer release options on your side, you have the targeted release and the standard release. Those are our general availability principles. And then most importantly, when we talk about the message center, the message center post that comes to you, especially for the major changes, that comes in 30 days before the GA release, right around the time for targeted release. And this is primarily when the feature is a major change. But then from all other types of changes, the message center post comes to you roughly 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks before the standard release. So, but with the fact that the features are shipping in under 60 days, so a 30-day heads up with the depth of detail that you need for compliance, for governance, and the rollout, that's just not realistic anymore. So with that result, what it results with is the posts are either thinner than what you would like them to be on the details, or they are late, or both. So with that said, we, on our side, we are continuing to always balance the customer ask, which is how do we make sure that we are continuing to innovate faster, but then also giving you enough time to validate all these changes to prep. So again, this is something that we hear from you, but this is what we are here to fix it for you as well. So we talked about, someone mentioned Frontier earlier. So that's actually one of the 3 major changes that we're bringing in with this new modernized change model. So starting with the Frontier, so which is this is where we are standardizing the previews for all the Copilot features under this one umbrella program, which is called the Frontier program. The second important change is that we're adding a new release audience inside general availability, which is called the deferred release. What deferred release does is that it delivers all the major features 30 days after we start rolling out the standard release. And the last big change is that the message center post will now publish 1 week before standard releases for all changes. And this, just make sure that it starts and comes with a lot more sharper details as well as higher accuracy. So the net effect that it has for you is that it gives you early signals, more accurate posts, and a structural buffer for all the changes that you needed the most. So those are the big 3 changes that we are introducing with this new model. Let's unpack these a little bit more in terms of what does it really mean to you. So when we talk about Frontier, the Frontier release is primarily for early experimentation. So that's really where our early adopters try new experiences and help shape the product for for you and for us, and to make sure we are getting the direct feedback, and before we hit general availability, it meets the actual business problems that you're trying to solve with all those features. Then when you talk about the standard release, that's the default at GA. All the organizations are in the standard release, and that's where most of the organizations want to be, because this is where you get our fully production support features, and which is deployed through phases, which we call safe deployment practices. So you're actually getting the benefit of the safe deployment practices, as well as these are production supported features. And then finally, the new entrant here is the deferred release. So deferred release is also GA. It's also fully supported, but intentionally delayed about 30 days for all the major features that carry compliance implications. So essentially, how are we getting this out in front of you? So the frontier model is already available for all the Copilot features, which I think most of you are familiar with. And the standard and deferred release model is was announced roughly a month ago, and we are starting to roll out features through this model. This is, however, this is going to be a journey. We have almost like 50 products under the M365 suite. So we are starting with making sure that all the Copilot, M365 Copilot features start to roll out through this model. However, it'll be limited to the worldwide customers only. It will come to the Gulf customers at a later point. Secondly, all the M365 apps release model which comes through the current channel or the monthly enterprise channel, that remains unchanged for now. We will, all of these models will transition and merge into this new model over a period of time, but that's the journey that we've embarked on. But we're starting with only the Microsoft Copilot features.
Just want to highlight, Micky, that's a really good point. Thanks for explaining that. So we're going to be in a period of transition, aren't we, where obviously the Copilot and the AI product teams are on this frontier journey, like some of the other product groups will be running under the traditional model. So depending on the feature, it will be frontier, standard, deferred, or it might be targeted in GA or whatever other public preview in GA.
You're absolutely correct. Yes. That's the journey that we are bringing you on with us, to make sure that we move together to the new frontier models that we are embarking on.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. So I said a few times, that the deferred release is, it's only applicable to major changes or the major features. So just a quick refresher in terms of what that major change is. These are basically the changes that impact your daily productivity. For example, things that you work on a daily basis, anything to do with the inboxes, your meetings, your calendars, and so forth. Any customizations that you have done on your site, for example, your SharePoint sites, your web pods, your agents, and so forth. Any capacity changes that we do on our site, for example, how much storage do we get with inboxes and with agents and the models, etc. Any rebranding that happens on our side, any new service of app that comes out, or anytime we change where the data is getting processed or located, right? So all of these are considered as major changes. This and you can get the full authoritative definition of this on our Message Center documentation on learn.microsoft.com. The good news about this is this definition has not stayed stagnant. We have been continuously evolving this definition over the years in direct correlation to the feedback that you've shared with us. And the most important thing that you need to know is that continues to stay open even with the new model. So as and when we are releasing more features to this deferred release, you are our signal. Your feedback is super critical for us to make sure that we are actually getting the right features out to the standard versus frontier and the deferred models. So that's super, super important for us. So just wanted to do a quick refresher on what those major changes are, because now I'll get into the aspects of, what's really, from, if you have to take a few takeaways from today, if you have to choose between standard and deferred release, from our vantage point, what do we recommend it for you? So starting with the standard release, it's the right default for all the organizations that want the benefit of the M365 improvements as soon as they GA. Because the goodness here is, all of these changes are coming through, validated through our safe deployment practices. So you're getting this, making sure you're getting the high quality and production support features, But the most important thing is you're getting it fast so that you can stay competitive with all the in your business. There's the pattern, however, we do recommend here is that should you choose to be in standard, you can put a set of your user base in the deferred release. And this could be, the users that are, probably business critical or, are sensitive to changes. So you can actually have some of those users be in the deferred release while most of your organization stays in standard release. Quick reminder on these exceptions as I talk through. When you're trying to set a set of users into deferred release, should you be in standard release, just know that this user selection is capped at 100 now. And again, the good news is right now you can do actually just one. You have to select one user at a time, but we are bringing in group support so that you can manage this user selection through groups. So that's coming soon as well. All right, so that's broadly the recommendation for standard release. But let's talk about deferred release. So who is a deferred release for? So deferred release is designed for organizations that need more validation. So especially if you're in regulated industries with change control environments or anyone with mandatory internal reviews for some of those major compliance related features, then that's what those are the organizations who deferred release is for. And again, most importantly, if you choose to go down, if you choose for your organization deferred release as a right release audience, then here's a strong recommendation. Make sure you assign a subset of your users to standard release, especially some of your IT pros or champions, such that they will get those features almost a month before the rest of the organization does. So that gives them enough time to keep the eyes on the features earlier, and then be ready for any validations that they need to do before the organization gets it. So that's essentially what the deferred release is. But then if you may have a question, but how do we know which feature is deferred coming in this deferred release or not? And this is where you'll see some changes that are coming through the message center post. So two important changes that I'm highlighting here is one is our rollout schedule, especially for those features that are coming through the deferred model, will now have two sets of timelines. One is for the standard release and the other is for the deferred release. And then secondly, it'll have a tag clearly calling out that a feature is coming through the deferred release model. So two clear ways for you to identify which of those features are coming to you, in the deferred mode, and then when this come to you to your tenancy. All right. So a lot of what I said was about what the new model is about. But with that, I also wanted to ground us on what this audience-based release model is not. So starting with, I often get this question, hey, so does that mean that I can defer a feature, any feature that I want, and can I do it forever? But that's not what this model is. Essentially, what this model does is it does not let you defer every feature. But once you sign up for a deferred release, all the major features that are rolling out through this model will come to you after 30 days. Secondly, no, it does not take away any of the existing controls that we provide with the features. For example, any admin controls or configuration policies, security baselines, or conditional access to manage how this change applies and when it applies to your organization. So those controls still remain. So essentially, you keep all of that and your governance surface does not shrink. It still remains the same. And then lastly, with respect to timelines, again, a lot of people ask, okay, with this new model, do I get precise dates? And the answer there is no. We'll continue to provide you release windows, as I mentioned in the previous message and the post visual. So that continues to be but you'll have a lot more preciseness in terms of you'll know when the features will hit the standard release as well as when the features will come into deferred release. What we're also bringing to you is the ability to know what the status of that feature is for your organization. For example, we will be able to tell if the feature is releasing to your organization and to your tenant in Message Center, whether it's scheduled or whether it has starting to roll out, or whether it's 100% launched on your tenancy. So those are the 3 additional statuses that will come to you that will help you get more visibility into what the status of the release is for your tenancy.
Micky, I just want to drill on that. So that's a huge change that a lot of people have been asking for. I know it's a journey you're kind of heading towards, is giving us better insight per tenant where we are, as opposed to like the roadmap does that today. It's like, launch, rolling out, but that's global. This is the idea, is this is going to be understanding your tenant better and where you are on that journey.
Absolutely right. And we'll be able to tell you, when the features hit actually the standard release versus the deferred release as well. So
yeah, that's a really important big step forward for people managing change on their tenants. It's great.
Yeah, and again, this is all because of the the insights that we get in talking to you and the feedback that you're sharing with us in chat right now. All of those are what's driving us to make sure we're getting to the right information that you need to make decisions on your side. Okay, so with that said, we can do all of that awesome work, but then we need to make sure it still gets to you in the right way. We need to make sure that the message is clear. So to help you understand how we are improving on that clarity pillar of ours, I'm going to have Brian talk through all the goodness that he's been working on.
All right. Well, thank you, Micky. So instead of going through some slides and given our time, I want to get into more of a show and tell, and I'll kind of talk through my slide content as I'm sharing content. So let me switch over to share this so we can see. All right. So really kind of the transition there, you might have seen is smarter message center structure. So we'll start there, right? And we'll just kind of start with message center. And you'll see that we've updated the structure lately. We actually gave folks 30 days notice because we do have some customers who do some parsing based off of the headers. And so we gave 30 days notice before we started to transition to the new structure. And the new structure is really about getting more succinct and moving away from big blobs of text to more bullet points to make it easier for your eye to scan and look for things that are important, right? And so areas that we've updated is rollout schedule. You'll also see that this is now over in the metadata over on the right-hand side. And so we'll talk about the importance of that in just a second. We have it here in the body, but it's also in the metadata over on the right. Impact your organization is broken down into who is affected, platforms and services, and then what will happen, right? So that you can quickly scan through that. And then there are actions and recommendations that for admins to take a look at and see, okay, does this help? Are there things that I need to do? And then finally, compliance considerations. We added this in a few months back, but we continue to kind of evolve it based off of feedback from customers, right, to help give folks an indication of where they may need to look when they're thinking about compliance in their organization. And so that's the new layout. And so if we the reason again is really about trying to make it easier to scan through and find important information. And so one of the things I just talked about is the timing of change added here in the right-hand side. So if we go into the message center proper, you will notice that there is a timing of change filter now available. If you haven't seen it, you can also add the timing of change column by going to choose and then timing of change. What this allows you to do is, here's my timing of change column here. I can then come in here and say, hey, what's this month, right? And so now I can get a view of what are things that are starting this month that I want to look at, right? So just kind of another, if you're working in Message Center in and of itself in the dashboard, then this is a way for you to help manipulate here so you can kind of get a better idea of when things are landing. We've also taken some changes into Planner, and those updates are now showing up as well. So if your organization uses Planner, or if you thought about using Planner, one of the things that we just implemented is we're now supporting the actual message center structure as it shows up in message center within the planner cards, where before this was just all a big blob of text. And so now you actually get the full experience of the message center post within planner as well. And so that's not the end. We're continuing to work on planner, and so there'll be additional changes coming as well. So just stay tuned for that. But I think that's a pretty cool one, just from an aesthetics perspective and ability to use and review the data within planner. Actually having it readable is nice. So, all right. So is one of the things that we want to do. I mean, this is nice, right? You can go through and you can read all of these. It's big. It's a lot of changes that are happening. We've landed that right a couple different times. So what we want to talk about now is moving from reading the wall of text of message center posts on a one-to-one basis and getting to a point where you can review and analyze change or incidents, right, using natural language through AI. And so what I'm demoing here is what's called the MCP for Enterprise, which is available now for customers to use and to try out. And all I have done is I've created a very simple agent that is connected to the MCP for Enterprise. And if we think about the MCP for Enterprise, essentially what it's doing is it's looking at all of your tenants' data, right? Your tenants' organizational data. And so the responses that we get are tailored to the tenant. And give you insights specific to your organization. Now, from a security perspective, right, the MCP supports RBAC, and so folks that only see data that they're supposed to see. So if you take, I'm a global admin, you'll see through the demo here, I get back a lot of data around my organization. But if I, let's say, was just a message center reader role, I would only get back information specific to message center. If I was an end user, I would not be able to access the data. And so you're secure in who can see what as you go through. So that's cool. Great, Brian. Let's see it. What does it do? So let's start there. So again, this is just a simple agent that I created. We're talking a lot about change today, but I want to start out with health, just because it really shows the insights piece. And so real simple, I'm an admin, I come in the morning, what's the current health of my service, right? It's kind of the one thing I need to know, so I know if there's any fires I need to be going and working on. And so this is going out, and it's looking at, essentially it's looking at the service health dashboard for me. It's reviewing the services and coming back with the summary of what is the current service impacts for my organization. Again, this is my organization, right? It's not giving me, broadly, it's like, hey, what are the items that are impacting that are in mine? And so active issues, it breaks it down for me, lets me know where there's services. It gives me some insights that I can see very quickly. And then I can look and say, okay, hey, wait, I need to dig into something. And so I'm going to dig into this particular item and see, based on licensing and usage, how many users are potentially impacted by this particular event. Now, notice I'm asking potentially impacted my users, right? And so let's see what we get back. So again, what it's going to do is it's going to look at the incident, and then it's going to go and look at the licensing and usage data that sits within the graph of my tenant, right, to provide me back some insights. All right, so I'm starting to build it out for us. So we've got a summary. potential impacted license analysis. It gives us a breakdown of, hey, whoops, still refreshing. Here's our different licensing we have, potential units, potential impact. So total license F1 users who are OWA only, they're our highest risk is 9. And so it kind of gives me that insight into where the level of who's potentially impacted. Now I could dig deeper into this and say, hey, tell me who these 9 people are, right? And it could go and look at the graph and it could pull back that information, right? And then I could actually say, hey, send an email to those 9 people, letting them know that they might be impacted. I'm sending an email on an OWA issue. They may not get it, but hey, sending the email nonetheless. So you can use, and the reason why I start with health is because you can see that, again, it's looking at your data and the ability that it's analyzing based off of my tenant and my organizational data. So let's take a look at, let's switch it over. Okay, great. Now I know what's going on there. I've taken care of that. Let's, what teams changes have been announced and are landing in June? Let's take a look here. And I may flip over to my pre-rendered just for the sake of time and Copilot rendering this, but we'll see how quickly she comes up.
Right, while it's loading, you're showing some like a person doing this manually, but obviously we've got the potential here to automate and have agentic workflows and do proactive things. Like this is a surface that customers can extend from.
Exactly, right? So what I'm showing you is, again, this is me. If I'm an admin for, I can come in and do this, hit this manually, but you could have this set up with flows and such to where it's emailing you, like, or notifying you in some manner with, here's the status of these items. So yeah, for sure. You can use the full AI capabilities that are there. So here's the June 2026 announcements that are coming through. It actually gives us a breakdown, meeting and collaboration. Here's the message center posts for that. Messaging and chat, breaks it down there. Calling and phone. Wow, we've got a number of Teams changes coming in June, right? Admin, security, and compliance, still building. So I'm like, wow, this is great. Oh, file and app. Okay. Man, we're making a lot of changes in June for Teams that are crossing over into Teams as well. All right. So action, right? So we have all of our posts here kind of broken down in different areas. Action and summary kind of calls out what are the specific ones that you need to go look at right away, verify for users, then review and then kind of decide. Then I can dive into specific ones. Or I'm going to switch over here just again for the interest of time, and I've done the same prompts. So here's our messages for June. Again. And then I asked it, which of these changes should be communicated to end users, right? And so then it's doing an analysis based off of that to say, okay, hey, which ones have the bigger impact for end users? So that then I can focus, right, into, hey, what are the things I need to go and really go that really I need to take some action on so that my end users are prepared, right? And so now what I've done here, what it's allowed me to do is, as an admin, I'm now not just looking at one post at a time. I have something that is helping me analyze and come up with information to help me move faster and move forward, right? And so I can then dig in and I can have this, help me draft communications. I could say, hey, which of these have compliance considerations that I need to make sure that my compliance teams looks at? And it will do the same work, the same analysis. It will look at and say, hey, these ones are your key compliance potential hitters. And you could summarize that and send that over to your compliance team. So again, that is just to give you a taste of what it can do. But the one thing, if you're really interested and you want to do it, again, this is super simple. I created this in Copilot Studio. I used a specific set of instructions that I just created. And I created these using Copilot and I worked on it back and forth. and gave it a set of instructions on how I wanted it to respond. No specific knowledge. The only tool is the connection to the MCP server here. There aren't any other agents or topics or any other things that are there. Really, it's just the connection to the MCP server. And so it's a simple tool. There are Get Help articles that are available. Get started with the MCP server for enterprise, as well as GitHub for the MCP server for enterprise. And so if you want to give it a shot, it's really easy to walk through and create. The steps are here to do it. Last thing I will say is that, yes, you can create an agent. Yes, you can do it that way. We are actually bringing this to Copilot within the admin center. And so we will be integrating the MCP for enterprise into this particular interface, as well as the M365 admin agent, which is available within the store. We're integrating that here as well. And so if you don't want, or you cannot create, or you're not, that's not your space to create an app, it will actually be brought into and part of the ecosystem and easier to use through what's available today. So
Hey,
that was
Brian,
a lot. I tried to be quick.
Yeah, no, just real quick, there are folks that are so interested in this. I just want to make sure we don't miss the overarching construct here. What are we talking about? We're creating systems on the back end to make sure that changes can be more accurately described and better communicated in all the endpoints. And in addition to that, we're giving you flexibility within your change management model to be standard or deferred and still take advantage of Frontier. And we're wrapping all of that in an agentic experience. So the thing I want folks to make sure that you hear from us is, we know that what we've been doing in the past hasn't caught up, and this is why we're making these changes. And we are incredibly grateful for everybody's feedback and input. Please keep that coming, and know that these things will only accelerate as we move forward in terms of keeping up with the changes that we want to bring to you all. So just want to say thanks again for the hospitality. Great job, guys, as usual, and going over the details. But thanks for the opportunity to be here, both Tom and Michael. We really, really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, likewise. We appreciate you guys engaging with the community so much. I know you have been in various forums as well, and yeah, it's great, Brian, to see a live demo and the confidence to do a live demo on this stuff, because it's all fast moving, as we know. But I think the MCP stuff is really exciting, and if that's whetted your appetite, we'd love to have further conversations about what you're doing with the MCP. Like, we've played with it, some stuff. We're looking for kind of stories and use cases. So if you've done some cool stuff with it, do let us know, either in the chat or directly. It'd be great to have that conversation.
Yeah, I think the beauty of this is, imagine the time a few years ago when we gave you an API, because most of our users wanted control in terms of, hey, I want my information in a certain way, and how do I make it relevant for my organization? With AI and MCP servers, I think this is the opportunity now. We have the connectors. It's simple. It's as simple as that. It's a connector that you plug into your AI agents, and boom, there you go. You don't have to worry about being super technical about, how do I configure the API? How do I build my own user interface? You don't have to worry about the user interface at all. This is your flexibility, your way, how you want to consume information for your tenant. That's the beauty of the work that this brings to you.
Great. Well, I think we're about time. Thanks everybody for joining. We had a really good engagement. Again, thanks to Michael, who made all this happen, coordinated everybody. Thanks to Jim, Brian, and Micky for taking the time to jump in and have a live conversation. It's a really exciting change, and I think this direction of Frontier, Standard and Deferred, and more importantly, the visibility on the tenant of what's going on in your tenant is really exciting. But as Jim said, don't sleep on the potential of the MCP and bringing it into your change management process and creating comms and doing your own reporting and giving access to support teams to service health. There's a lot of value there as well. Jim, team, any last words before we wrap?
Just thank you.
Awesome. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for taking the time, and we'll see you all on the next one soon.